Here are 5 terrifying courtroom cases drug lords reacting to prison sentences. 1. Wallace Bigger. Wallace Bigger, who had strong words to express his displeasure in court upon being arrested for drug charges, faced the ire of the law as Lord Bigger. Despite overseeing a drug network in Michigan and dealing thousands of pills like morphine and dealer, Bigger disliked his trial proceedings. Despite running a financially successful drug business, the judge criticized Bigger for leading a substandard lifestyle. The drug operation itself operated out of trailers, campers, and an apartment above a pizza joint. While the drug business may have been lucrative, it was notably unconventional for drug rings. In court, Bigger vehemently denied all allegations, even though one of his drug dealers, Jason Blackmore, testified against him, identifying him as the primary supplier of morphine in Andrew County. Bigger regularly traveled to Saginaw, acquiring 800 pills a month and bringing them back. The consecutive headlines of Bigger's case aimed to send a message that regardless of age, there are consequences for those caught trafficking controlled substances. Despite being 71 years old, Bigger was not spared from criticism as he verbally attacked his lawyer, the judge, and the justice system. The judge, in response, issued heartfelt words, pointing out Bigger's history of abusing others. Despite Bigger's complaints, he received a 15-year prison sentence, marking the longest drug-related sentence in Antrim County's history. The charges included substance delivery, with a range of 23 to 240 months, maintaining a drug house for 16 to 240 months, and conducting criminal enterprise for 50 to 240 months. 2. Dexter Williams. The war on drugs stands out as one of the most significant challenges in America, with drug lords like Dexter Lee Williams making the battle increasingly formidable. Williams, joining the ranks of notorious figures like El Chapo and Pablo Escobar, operated a vast drug ring in Atlanta, Georgia for 5 years. Despite law enforcement's determined efforts involving wiretaps, recorded phone calls, and numerous arrests, the illicit trail encompassed cocaine, heroin, marijuana, and meth, leading to Dexter Lee Williams.
I'm talking to Mr. Williams. I've heard everything.
Right, but you're holding what other accusations? He didn't testify, so you're holding what I said.
I've heard everybody. I've heard it all.
Who else said
I've heard it all. I've heard it all. It's my time to speak. There's been an attempt, obviously, to shift blame during the course of the entire case.
From when he gets in the car to the apartment to...
There is not. There are 4 separate clips. And then we agreed that this clip was the clip that was going to be played. This is the clip that I wanted to question the officer about. So now what counsel is going into, this is the first time I've heard that counsel wants to talk about.
2, I will sentence him to 20 years. That will be consecutive to count 1, and I'm going to require that be served. 20 years is served. Count 3 already indicated that is merged with count 1. So that'll be the sentence of the court as a result.
Thank you, may be excused.
All right.
Williams, with prior arrests for cocaine and marijuana distribution, aspired to be more than a small-time player and became the mastermind. However, his ambitions led to his downfall in March 2020, when officials intercepted a shipment of 87 pounds of cocaine, valued at nearly $4 million. This marked a significant escalation from Williams's previous modest endeavors. Williams faced trial and a potential 60-year jail term. In court, the judge emphasized the dire consequences of drug involvement and the threat Williams posed to the community. Williams, despite his attorney's efforts to contest accusations, chose not to testify. Eventually, he received a 40-year sentence behind bars, with 20 years each for 2 counts to be served consecutively. The judge underscored the gravity of drug sentencing, highlighting the severity. 3. Benjamin Bundy. Benjamin Bundy, not to be confused with the infamous serial killer Ted Bundy, experienced a breakdown in court, shedding tears as he grappled with the realization that he bore responsibility for the deaths of 2 individuals, including his own girlfriend. Operating in the drug trade in New Hampshire, Bundy, faced with intense competition, resorted to disturbingly innovative methods by adding the highly addictive substance fentanyl to his drugs. This reckless concoction resulted in the lethal overdoses of Matthew Nichols and Bundy's girlfriend, Jennifer Azara. The case, in essence, serves as a somber testament to the dire consequences of such actions. Bundy swiftly took a plea deal in court, confessing to everything. However, the most intense moments occurred during the hearing, when emotions ran high as the families of the victims delivered their statements. Despite Bundy maintaining a composed demeanor throughout, the grief-stricken parents' words proved overwhelming, causing even the hardened drug dealer to melt into a puddle of tears. Bundy received a 15-year prison sentence for his crimes. Azara's father expressed a hope that this might serve as a second chance for Bundy. The incident underscores the disturbing trend of lacing heroin with fentanyl, illustrating the unsettling reality of the drug world's latest culinary experimentation. Very similar to Bundy is convict number 4, Aaron Andrade. In this tragic narrative, Aaron Andrade faced legal consequences for his involvement in the death of Kristen Kotu, a former drug addict who had initially made progress in rehab but succumbed to heroin once again when she entered a relationship with another drug user. This dark path eventually led her to Andrade. Kristen's fatal overdose was attributed to Andrade not just selling her heroin, but the even more potent and addictive substance, fentanyl. Andrade found himself in court facing second-degree murder charges. However, his predicament extended beyond potential life imprisonment. He also confronted the profound grief of Kotu's mother and family, evident in their emotional struggle during the court proceedings. Despite 2 Princeton police officers present, Kotu's mother repeatedly expressed the desperate hope that her daughter was still alive. Surprisingly, unlike many convicts, Andrade displayed remorse and guilt in court, a sentiment appreciated by Kotu's mother. While acknowledging this remorse provides some solace, it cannot compensate for the loss of a daughter. Ultimately, Andrade received a 40-year prison sentence after entering a no-contest plea. The 5th and most disturbing drug lord, Charles Krusty. While some drug dealers are motivated by quick profits, others exhibit a disturbing level of cruelty in their work. Charles Krusty, also known as Rome, the enigmatic figure behind a chillingly vacant expression in court, faced arrest on 11 drug charges. His criminal history extended far back, with a string of overdose-related deaths in New Richmond traced back to Krusty, who dealt in heroin, fentanyl, and cocaine. In a narrative reminiscent of a supervillain comic book, this real-life kingpin Rome compelled addicts to sell his drugs through violent coercion during investigations. Many implicated their ruthless boss, using his street name, Rome. The pivotal moment came when an informant purchased drugs directly from Rome, portraying Krusty as one who provides the weapon, the bullet, and orchestrates the deadly game, leaving the addict to pull the trigger. The trial, albeit brief, left little room for doubt as Krusty was caught red-handed. However, his unsettling silence and death stare during the proceedings added an eerie dimension. The chief of police detailed how Rome's dealers were discovered battered and bruised, highlighting the chief's sympathy for the victims. Krusty received a sentence of 20 years and 9 months in prison, offering a semblance of safety for New Richmond and Claremont County with each day of his incarceration. Which of these drug lords did you find the most malignant? Share your thoughts in the comments and hit the subscribe button for more content.